stone citadel braces against the icy winds in Vice. Once, in Gielinnor's Second Age, it was the mighty Zerosian fortress of Ghorrock, though now it lies abandoned, forsaken even by the ice trolls who have settled nearby in recent years. In the current era, very little knowledge remains of the Ghorrock fortress and the settlements that once surrounded it on the surface. But beneath the frozen earth, far below the foundations of this ancient castle, hides one of the most sinister places in all of Gielinor, a place where, during the long, dark years of the God Wars, unspeakable atrocities occurred, a place where innocent people were confined, tortured, and, by the one meant to protect them, devoured. This is the story of Ghorrock Prison. As with most sites from the time of Zaros, the history of this place is shrouded in mystery. What is clear is its original purpose. Ghorrock Prison is carved deep into the earth. Icy corridors packed with snow have been tunneled deep below the fortress, with walls of cold, blue stone brick. Row after row of cells, and rusty cages holding the long-dead skeletons of unfortunate inmates are lit by eerie blue candlelight, and the banners of a long-forgotten god dance with the movement of stale air. Tattered notes and ancient diaries found on skeletons, in crates, or in old beds around the prison reveal the dark history of this place and the terrible fate that met those housed within it. This wasn't just a prison. It wasn't only criminals that were held here. And what happened here shocked even the Majorat, enough that they sealed the entrance with ancient magic. Though the exact details and the order of events are unclear, from these notes and the surrounding context of the quests it appears in, we can attempt to piece together what happened here. The player uncovers Ghorrock Prison during Secrets of the North, where it's revealed that it was locked away behind a magical seal for thousands of years, but they first visit it during Desert Treasure 2, in search of one of the medallions needed to open the ancient vault near Nada. Upon entering the Forgotten Prison, they're captured by the Majorat Jalan, one of the two who originally sealed the prison long ago, and a loyal follower of the god Zaros. Zaros was, of course, the god of darkness, who ruled over a large empire, with many races, including some humans, among his followers. The ancient spellbook's teleports reference the names of ancient Zerosian cities and fortresses. Edgeville was built on the ruins of ancient Padua, for example, and Ghorrock Teleport sends the user to the very northwestern corner of the wilderness, close to the abandoned Ghorrock fortress. The Second Age of Gielinor ended when Zamorak, one of Zaros' generals, usurped him, attaining godhood for himself and beginning the God Wars, a conflict that lasted for thousands of years and ended with the complete destruction of Zaros' empire. Ghorrock, and the prison beneath it, certainly existed before the God Wars, during the height of Zaros' influence, and likely served its obvious purpose and incarcerated criminals. However, with Zaros' fall and the onset of the God Wars, the prison took on a new purpose: to house refugees fleeing the war, to act as a safe haven for those still loyal to Zaros, who would be persecuted or exterminated by the followers of Zamorak or Saradomin. Before long, though, this noble aim became a problem. A note found in the prison reads, "Your Excellency, another 100 refugees arrived today. This war has already lasted multiple lifetimes for the lesser races, and there is no end in sight. I ask once again that we consider our capacity here. I do not wish to turn away those who are still faithful, but we are running out of room. The God Wars raged on, and more refugees were packed into Ghorrock's icy chambers. All the while, it still functioned as a prison. A note found from somebody named Ernik mentions one of the refugee children talked to a prisoner and heard the name Zamorak from them. This stands out because, as the war continued on the surface, generations descended from those who had entered Ghorrock as refugees were born, lived, and died underground, without knowledge of the outside world or the terrible battles that were taking place there. At one point, a centurion named Lucilia writes to Mizark, one of the Majorat still loyal to Zaros, asking for a chance for some of the people housed in Ghorrock to see the sunlight, claiming that she understands the need for security, but some of the humans have spent their entire lives in this place, and that giving them a glimpse of the outside could be a much-needed morale boost for everyone. It seems unlikely that this excursion ever happened, however. As the years went on, the conditions in the Ghorrock prison worsened still. We learn that, at some point, there was an uprising of humans contained in the prison, an uprising that was quickly stopped and punished severely. A human writes that the recent treatment of our kind cannot be allowed to continue. Yes, the uprising was unacceptable, but all humans cannot all be tarred with the same brush. We are all loyal servants of the Empire, and it's time we are treated as such. If you agree, then join our cause. Our protest will be peaceful, but our voices will be heard. This peaceful protest did not end well for the humans. A note detailing orders reads, Legionary Zirath, given the recent disturbances, we have selected some prisoners to be made an example of. Use the correction cells near the refugee camp. That will ensure their screams are clearly heard. Correction cells are indeed just north of the area marked as the refugee camp, tiny cells containing instruments of torture. Here, dissidents and protesters were locked into stocks or tiny cages, stretched until their bones broke on racks, or strapped to beds with manacles and tortured with tools, all within earshot of the nearby refugees. In other rooms, human organs float in jars on shelves, either grim trophies from deceased prisoners or evidence of twisted research. With no way out, the refugees had become prisoners of a different sort, persecuted, trapped, and abused by their fellow loyal Zarosians. Despite the horrors occurring within its dungeons, Ghorrock had weathered the storms of the God Wars better than any other Zarosian city or fortress, explaining why it remains standing in the current era. Because of this, it was decided at some point to move military command to the prison, coinciding with the appointment of a new acting Legatus Maximus, the leader of Zaros's 6th Legion, the Duke Sucellus. The Duke took up residence in the depths of the prison. He converted some chambers into his war rooms and others into makeshift armories. Throughout the prison, 2 statues can be found depicting the Duke. A Chthonian demon, shown here to be a worm-like creature with 2 large tendril-like arms, a gaping mouth filled with sharp teeth, and many tiny mouths and eyes scattered across his body. The existence of statues of the Duke here could highlight either Sucellus's own vanity or a worship or veneration of the demon by those still housed in the prison. It seems that the conversion of Ghorrock into a military encampment and the promotion of Duke Sucellus to acting Legatus Maximus may have happened before, during, or after the prison riots and subsequent tortures. But whatever the case, Ghorrock's darkest days were yet to come. A note from a prisoner to someone named Kaiso reads, "Something isn't right. The war is over and the gods are gone. We should be leaving this place, but instead we remain. Apparently, the Duke requires us to make preparations before we return to the surface, but there is something we are not being told. The Duke hasn't left the asylum in days, and every day more people are taken down there, never to return. I feel something terrible is fast approaching. We must leave before it does. They'll have my head if I'm discovered helping prisoners, so we must be discreet. The God Wars had ended, the surface was quiet, yet those trapped in Ghorrock Prison were unable to leave, stuck in their cells or taken to the Duke's chambers at the very bottom of the compound. In the icy bowels of Ghorrock Prison, with the weight of a fallen empire literally on top of him, Duke Sucellus had gone insane. Another note reads, Kaiso, if you're reading this, you've no doubt already seen the horrifying truth for yourself. The Duke thinks he's destined to restore the Empire at the small cost of all our lives. You need to get out as soon as you can. The final note discovered in Ghorrock Prison is an evacuation notice. Ghorrock is forsaken and must be evacuated at once. Round up all who are left and tell them they have an hour to leave. Jalan and Mizark are preparing to have this place sealed. After that, there will be no escape. Not for him and not for any others left inside. He ate them. He ate them all. The Duke, poisoned by his madness, had come to believe that salvation for the Zerosian Empire could come only by his hand, that only he had the strength to recover what was lost. He began moving prisoners from their cells to his asylum, where he devoured them. With each and every one, he grew larger and stronger, gorging on what little energy remained in their malnourished husks. Once this was discovered by the Majorat, Jalan and Mizark, the prison was condemned. It was sealed with a key broken into 2 pieces, trapping the Duke inside, along with anybody that had failed to escape in time. The Frostenhorn, an incredibly powerful magical artifact, was sealed inside along with the Mad Duke, either deliberately or due to the haste at which the Majorat abandoned the site. The prison, and the gluttonous beast in its depths, remained in this state for thousands of years, until the current era, when the seal was broken, allowing the player to explore its forsaken halls. Only once they reach the asylum, however, does the true extent of the Duke's atrocities become clear. The statues on the upper floors depict Sucellus as he was during the God Wars, but this is not the Sucellus that awaits the adventurer in the present day. His insatiable hunger for his own people, his voracious, insane need to gather as much power within himself as he could, has caused the Duke to swell to a monstrous size. His main body lies trapped beneath a sheet of ice on the northern wall, though its distended mass bulges out into the room itself. But the Duke is larger than it seems. He has grown into the prison surrounding him. Swollen extremities burst through the walls above him. Every pound of demonic flesh squeezed between these ancient bricks was gained from the consumption of his own people. He has become an impossible, nightmarish icon of gluttony, trapped here not only by the seal of the Majorat, but because of his own insane greed. Ghorrock Prison becomes inaccessible to the player after Desert Treasure 2. They can only return to the Duke's asylum. Yet it remains one of the darkest places in Old School RuneScape, a window into the terrifying reality of the God Wars, a museum immortalizing the human cost of such a conflict, and the birthplace of a monster. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like, and subscribe if you haven't already for more Old School RuneScape content. Cheers guys, and I'll see you next time.